just the one. It'll be Brian Sullivan.
The 55 will be next in the anything printed car. The driver for Willington is Peyton Henry.
Car number 91 from North Haven, Connecticut, the Rocco Motorsports machine, Frank Rocco.
Then it will be the Red Baron in car number 99. He is from New Egypt, Pennsylvania. Here is Roland Pennick.
Agawam, Massachusetts, car number 4 for Jeffrey Gallup.
Then we have car number 11, the Shark Machine for Josh Wood.
Eric Burke, the Bulldog, car 66, the Cause Auto Sales car.
In car number 00, Tommy Mabrino Jr.
Eddie Spires, car number 48.
The tribute car to Mario Fiore, driven by Dave Sazzarulo, number 44.
Matt Gallo with car 71, Jeff Balave, the 23, John Montesano, the 43, and the 18 of Jeff Burrell. Green flag is out. They are well underway. Avery steps on the gas, motors on, out in front. Challenge is already on for second.
And that is the 15 of Jarvis in the Johnson car. He is able to rev it up and take over the spot. But Tyler Hines in the Tick-Free Organic Tick Control car, he is running a sturdy third, being challenged by Keith Rocco.
There's no question about it. As they head down the back straightaway, Rocco is a man with a mission. Up on the wheel, to the inside. They rub rails. Off turn 4. Down to the stripe. Rocco's up to third. And who's the tail that wags the dog now? It is Matt Galco with the number 3 car. Here comes Mike Christopher, Copson, all heading forward, along with Bowles, Brian Sullivan, Woody Pitcat, and Todd Owen.
And Ronnie Williams is also in that congregation as they fireball their way down the front straightaway. It is still Dan Avery in charge, and close enough to do chin-ups on the spoiler is Michael Jarvis Jr.
There's no question about it. Down the back straightaway, Kid Rock. Bonsai move to the bottom. Inside is Racy. Who'll go with him? Matt Galco tries to make the same move as Jervis continues to guard the spot. Position number 3. Fastest car on the racetrack, 19.342. Kid Rock, Keith Rocco, stepping out of line. Here comes the number 94 machine, also coming to the front. Tyler Hines again.
Now making a move on Mike Christopher. Here is Ronnie Williams. That is a fight for 6, and Williams is on the verge of taking over that position. Here is Tyler Hines. He is abusing the back bumper of the Matt Galco car, but the fastest bullet in the holster right now, Ben, could be Ronnie Williams.
It certainly looks like Williams. The cream is starting to rise to the top. He is now up to the 6th spot. Michael Christopher in 7th. 8th position is Brian Sullivan. 9th spot is Todd Owen. And a side-by-side battle for the 10th spot. Front of the class. Little bim, bam, boom action as it appears that Rocco will give a tap to the back bumper. But it's still Avery in command, setting a blistering pace at the front. Williams now, the fastest car on the racetrack. You predicted it, Matt. 19.046. Here comes Galco. Galco moves into 3rd.
A very efficient move against Jarvis. So Galco has moved into 3rd, and he has taken Tyler Hines with him. So the hockey player from North Haven has infiltrated the top 4.
He certainly has. And his buddy, Ronnie Williams, another hockey player, moves to the inside, up to position number 5. The LFR car starts to slip back just a bit in the outside groove. Jervis isn't giving up yet.
Brian Sullivan having a strong run. He is in 8th as he is holding off Todd Owen for the time being. And now making a move down low, Ronnie Williams. That is a fight for 4th. And he is able to blur his way into the top 4.
While that's been happening, Owen moved down underneath Brian Sullivan as Todd Owen moves into the 8th spot. Car number 8 is marching forward. Sullivan drops back to 9, and then it is Frank Rocco who currently sets in the 10th spot. Here comes the big dogs, Ted Christopher out of the top 10. Along with him is Woody Pitcat, then it's Kopsick, and then it's Rowan Pennick, who had a mechanical problem. The same can be said about Eric Burke, the Bulldog, in qualifying.
Boy, 11 and a half. Hard-nosed lap for Don Avery, holding off Keith Rocco. It's been over 2 years since Avery's had a victory. Trouble in the corner, turn 4 for Frank Rocco as he drifted up the racetrack, and that gives room for Christopher, but we have a yellow.
Car number 00 stopped beneath the Budweiser billboard on the back.
Looking for his first win in a while. They made one addition in the offseason. They added Stash Mutova as a consultant, and Stash is pretty busy because he also works on the cars of Ronnie Williams and Tyler Hines. So how is Stash doing so far in the first 12 laps? Dan Avery is first.
Yep.
Ronnie Williams is third. Tyler Hines in fifth. So he has a hand in 3 of the top 5 cars so far in this race.
Certainly does. Lights are off on the safety vehicle at the point from Whelen Engineering. This is a Napa Auto Parts presentation presented in the Napa Whelen All-American Series. 12 of 42. 30 laps remaining. Dan Avery has been Superman at the front of the field. Green is out. Avery with a strong run becomes the chase car, but all of a sudden, here comes Kid Rock. Magic on the outside. Williams, look at that power, Matt.
And he is able to use that power to get by Matt Galco, and he is going to be challenging Keith Rocco for second. So Rocco is on the outside, but we have an issue as the car is on the grass.
Well, it's another LFR car. It is the number 11 machine for Josh Wood. He became a victim of circumstances as 4th. Matt Galco is 5. Michael Jervis is 6th. Michael Christopher Jr. in 7th. Todd Owen is 8th. Ted Christopher is 9th. And Brian Sullivan rounds out the top 10. Get ready. It's time to fire them back up all over again. 13 of 42. Lights are off at the point, and the cream is starting to rise to the top in this SK Modified feature event.
And Dan Avery squaring off against one of the best restarters in the game, Keith Rocco. So a tough chore for Dan Avery right now.
Here they come. There's the green. Avery to the advantage again. Power play push by Williams. Avery, a little bit of a twitch that time. That gives a slight advantage to Keith Rocco. Will Rocco become the second leader of the event? Dan Avery says, as Avery still holds on at the line.
Keith Rocco's trying to burst his way around Avery. Couldn't make it happen. Now Rocco has to worry about Ronnie Williams and moving up on the outside. He is hanging in there. Tyler Hines. Galco is in a battle with Jarvis, and Galco prevails and goes after Hines.
Here comes Todd Owen. He is looking racy as he has worked his way among the top 6 cars. Owen is looking good. Back to the front, Avery, followed by Rocco. Rocco lines up with the back bumper to chrome horn. As they come off the turn, Williams waiting for the curtain call in 3rd, and then it's Galco trying now to shake off the number 81 machine. Oh, all of a sudden, Todd Owen. And Tyler
in trouble.
Hines. Wow.
Hines, everybody gets by him. And that was hair-raising as he got kicked to the curb, and he was in a very vulnerable to check in with the gunner.
Okay, quickly, the number 11 car, Josh Wood, out of the race. What took you out?
I don't know. I just saw a bunch of cars get sideways. I checked low. Someone turned into me, racing incident. But it was a lot of fun. I can't thank these guys enough. The LFO Northeast for giving me the opportunity to ride one of these. I hope to do it again. It was a blast. I wish it could have ended any better.
There he is, folks. Josh Wood did a good job on the late models and out for the SKs.
He'll be back next Friday night, and it looks like we're about ready to fire them back up again. The complexion has changed in 16 laps, but one common denominator has been car number 10, leading 16 laps so far. As we are back up through the gears.
Good jump that time for Rocco.
And Rocco takes over the lead, second leader. On lap number 17, here comes Williams and Galco. Christopher has now emerged there.
Well, let's see if Rocco can lead this lap. And he can't. It's Avery. So Avery is still led every lap.
So Dan Avery shows that you can teach an old dog new tricks because he is dominant in 17 circuits and counting. But the heat is on, and here comes Williams, car 59 to the inside.
A new dog tries to use an old trick to get by Keith Rocco, and he is on the cusp of doing that. But Rocco, they're sharing the same Haas device as they go after Dan Avery. So Avery is double teamed at the front of the field.
Comes off the turn. Avery is the point of the arrow. But here comes Williams.
And Christopher is in the upper tier of the field in the fourth place.
Yellow. Caution comes out.
Wow, this is
In the Mohawk. Number 82 car. Jacks up the back of the machine.
Lieutenant Christopher started 12th. And to borrow a word from you, he's been very efficient.
Yes.
As he has carved his way through the field and has landed in the top 4.
Very confident. Ben on the podium looks for a title.
His 10th.
Here we go. For 19 laps, Dan Avery has stole the show. And here we do it again. Kind of deja vu. Race Central says that's not how it's supposed to be done. They'll try it all over, and then the decision will come out. Here we go. And there we have it.
Rocco getting off to a hefty start. Ted Christopher behind him.
No. Now let's see what's going to happen. Is somebody going to get their hand slapped? Or are we going to make it a three-peat and try to do it for the third time? The story is the first one was for the 10. The second callback was for the 88. The green is out. And Avery continues to set the pace.
He got a good getaway this time, but Rocco is hanging tough on the outside. They are like twin pops frozen together at the front of the field.
Here they come. Back off the turn. And there's no question about it. Avery's car is stuck like glue on the bottom.
And trying to disrupt his rhythm is Ronnie Williams from behind as Williams gets away from Christopher, and he is almost dead even with Rocco, and a little Woody Woodpecker action to the back bumper of the Avery car.
Here comes the Williams machine. Michael Christopher drops out of the event. Mechanical woes. The story there. Woody Pitcat, Pennick, all coming forward. Jervis gets a second wind, and so does Frank Rocco.
And there is a great move by Galco as he is able to get around Christopher.
Pitcat was completely sideways at one point. Lost 3 positions. Here comes Ted Christopher down underneath Galco.
That was a pretty good rescue by Pitcat because he was in weed whacker country and was able to get out with only losing 3 positions. Galco has something to say about Ted Christopher. They are having their own battle for 4th and 5th.
Williams continues to run in the tire tracks of Dan Avery, but Avery isn't giving an inch.
Remember a few laps ago we said that Rowan Pennick was 12th. He is now 6th, and it didn't take him long to get those 6 positions. He wants another one right now as he tries to volcano his way underneath Galco, and what a strong move executed by the Red Baron.
Certainly was, as Kevin Crowley's race car and Bob Hitchcock's now sets its sight to run to the outside of Ted Christopher. And that's quite an accomplishment to do here at Stafford.
Yeah, very few cars can go inside and outside. And now Christopher is going after Keith Rocco in car number 88. Avery continues to lead with Ronnie Williams in second. Now remember, with Dan Avery,
Powder Hines spins between turns 3 and 4. 26 now, up on the board.
boy, it was a good night for him, and he has had trouble about in the last 10 laps or so.
At the front row. 9-time state champion, Kid Rock, on the inside of row 2. Ted Christopher, Stafford's all-time winner. And the story they say on the Mike Christopher car was overheating and the temperature rising.
And Dan Avery, he has 3 career wins in an SK at Stafford. 2 were in 1983, and 1 was in 2014. So he is trying to get one in 2016, but all of the Sharks are lined up as they try to get after that 10 car. This is going to be a very interesting restart.
Oh, a mess on the start. A melee.
And it got kicked to the curb.
And so didn't the Copsic machine and Kid Rock. And the yellow is for no start.
Keith Rocco and Rowan Pennick got a reprieve, so we'll see if they can take advantage of that. Keith Rocco looking for his first win of the year at Stafford. He is in the middle of the battle for the national championship. And if you say national championship within earshot of Keith Rocco, he will tell you to keep quiet. He doesn't want to know anything about the national points. All he is trying to do is win races, and he has an opportunity tonight.
Matt, overall, Keith Rocco has an estimated how many wins in his career?
Well, he has over 128 at Waterford and a lot here. So he is closing in on 150 wins. In 2 tracks, and you add his Thompson wins, he's close to 200 victories.
We are back up through the gears from the Stafford Motor Speedway, and Dan Avery runs supreme at the front of the field. He is the rabbit being chased by the dogs.
And 2 big dogs are behind him.
Woody Pitcat's car developed a caffeine twitch.
Boy, that car was almost in the twilight zone, and he was able to bring it back. Rocco trying to get underneath Ronnie Williams, and Williams is all over him. A little forearm shiver from Christopher to Rocco, and that might have motivated the 88 car.
It certainly does appear to be the story as Keith Rocco motors back into second. Now, right there with Teddy Christopher comes Rowan Bennett, defending champ and point contender for back-to-back titles.
Red Baron is on a roll as he tries to smoke bomb his way underneath Ronnie Williams, and he does. So the 99 is in 4th place, and we still have 13 laps to go.
It's still a long way from over with yet. Rocco continues to wear on the back bumper of Avery, but Avery not giving up an inch. He has done a masterful job of setting a blistering pace at the point. And they have tried everything to get around Dan Avery for 30 circuits.
And that back bumper of Avery's car, the Horse Powder Hill Farm car, has plenty of black and blue marks on it. Ted Christopher is in 3rd, but he knows Pennick is behind him. And Pennick might not want to stay behind him for very long, so that could be a good battle shaping up. Good battle deeper in the pack between Jervis and Frank Rocco, and Frank Rocco looks tough. He is currently in the 8th place.
10 circuits to go. The final 10. Avery. He has just been amazing as the leader. Trouble, caution. We've got a pig pile at turn 1.
Tommy Mabrino, one of the cars involved.
Sazzarillo.
Now this is a cliffhanger, as Dan Avery, he would like nothing better than to go back to the winner's circle. You know, because he is such a friendly guy and always willing to talk to people, I think a lot of people don't know what a competitor that Dan Avery is. but he is a fierce competitor, and he wants to get back to the winner's circle. He said if he didn't think he could still win, he wouldn't be out there. So this could be a big moment for Avery, and Keith Rocco has won everywhere this year except Stafford. He has 10 laps to change that statistic.
Here they come. Watch for the firebox. That's where they start them, right there. Avery with a power assist from Ted Christopher, still holding on. Keith Rocco. Panic is there. 4 cars, 6 cars, 7 cars contending for the same airspace on the racetrack. Almost 3 wide, Matt.
And it's Ronnie Williams getting his nose in there. Here comes Woody Pitcat as he makes a bold move on the inside. Trouble for Christopher.
Down on the grass. Gathers it back, but loses about 10 positions on the racetrack. What a deal breaker there.
And the Red Baron, Rowan Pennick, moves into third now as he is in a contending position. With Williams fourth, and the battle between Pitcat and Galco continues. Frank Rocco has moved up into the top tier, but they're all chasing Dan Avery.
And Dan Avery has proven himself lap after lap. 35 now complete. 7 circuits to go. Avery looks like days of old. Dominant. For all 35 laps, here comes Rocco. Got enough giddy up to touch, but not enough to make it through. Eric Burt, the Bulldog, spins underneath the Pepsi billboard on the backstretch. Fires it back up. We're still under green.
Now, if you've seen Rocco over the years, you know he likes to make a move heading into turn number 3. And Avery knows what his MO is, so we'll see if Avery can protect the inside when they go into turn number 3.
5 laps remaining. 2.5 miles left. And Dan Avery continues. Bowles is off the pace. Car number 76. The top 10 continues to change. But not the battle at the point. The leader still remains the same.
And you know that Keith Rocco has one bullet left in his holster. When is he going to fire it? And right now, Dan Avery is trying to get out of pistol range as he is pulling away from the 88, but the yellow comes out with 4 to go. Keith Rocco momentarily got the lead, but by the time they got back to the line, Avery was back in front. So he has led every lap statistically, but Rocco did get him on 1 restart, so that has to be in the memory bank of Dan Avery.
Place your bets now in the high-stake game of racing. Dan Avery, based on his amazing lead and not folding to any of the pressures, he would be considered the odds-on favorite. But when you've got Kid Rock to your outside, the defending champ and point contender behind you, and Ronnie Williams, one of the young guns, with Woody Pitcat and Galco, there is a lot of talent.
And remember, Ben, that Rowan Pennick started the night 12 points behind Ted Christopher. So Ted Christopher is hanging out now in the back of the field. So Rowan Pennick has an opportunity to gain some ground and maybe even get back into the point lead, depending on what happens over the final 4 laps. So this could be a turning point type of night for Rowan Pennick.
Here we go. It's all come down to this. 2 miles, 4 circuits. Avery has thought about this, run hard for it, is deserving of it. But will it go his way? It's Avery again with a slight advantage into turn 1.
But this is a good restart for Keith Rocco. Here he comes by a schnoz. Rocco is out in front.
Avery takes it in deep. Bottom of the racetrack. Avery works him up just enough. Dan Avery back in command. Lap 39.
Here is Pennick.
Here comes Pitcat.
Inside is the place to be. And Rocco is stuck between a rock and a hard place as Williams goes to the outside of him. Dan Avery 2 laps away from victory, but he is going to have to hold off the defending champ in order to get it done.
It's not over with yet. These are the 2 bonus laps. Dan Avery has been so flawless. He's been so strong, so aggressive. This time, the white flag is out. Final half mile for Dan Avery. The horsepower Hill Farms machine still holding on, Matt. The champ is all over his back bumper. Pettit looks to the outside, thinks twice of it, pulls it back into line.
Here comes Avery, trying to get to the stripe. Pettit is there, but Avery will win it.
Rowan Pettit will finish in second. Keith Rocco to finish in third. Woody Pitcat for